Hello YouTube! I'm Pinstar and this is Blueprint Strategy and Tactics. So today we're going to talk about the nuclear option. The nuclear option is a tactic that can greatly ease your navigation of the manor on a given day. Now, it doesn't always work. It depending on the nature of the setup, but there are some things that you can do to get it working on a fairly reasonable basis. The two main ways to do this tactic is either to draft, if you get lucky and you get a shelter in your outdoor room, and I mean shelter is a good pick regardless, but if you get shelter, you can also utilize it for this strategy, or if you get an early laboratory in the main house. We lucked out and we are being offered shelter, so I'm going to choose shelter. Now, shelter is good for its red room nullification bonus alone. Like by itself, if you were going to use it for nothing else, it's good for that. But we can squeeze one more other goodie out of it. Pulling this strat off depends on you having the Blackbridge Grotto unlocked, allowing you to tap into a terminal that is not otherwise active. So from here, we're going to view active terminals and we're going to go straight to the laboratory, even though we haven't drafted anything in the manor yet. What we're interested in is setting up our experiment bright and early, because if it is of a nature that we can farm, we can make this strat work. Let's see what we got. Find some trash while digging, eating an apple, or drafting an archived floor plan. I'd say of these, this is probably the most easily accessible and repeatable one. What we're looking for is 3 to 4 successful experiments, something that you can repeat do. I mean, you could go to town with archive floor plans, but you have to get the archive room early to get that working for you. So yeah, each time you find some trash while digging, let's gain a star. I like permanent rewards like that. And we start our experiment. For the time being, we're done with the shelter, but we'll be back, potentially. I do have Blessing of the Gardener going, so I'm going to get a lot of dig plots here. This is going off of my same save file where I gave you the dig strats, so digging up junk, at least in here, is a lot more likely to be successful. So, we have dug up our first piece of thing, and as you saw, experiment successful. So yeah, let's continue on. Oh, and a sledgehammer. Yeah, unfortunately, when you hit nothing, that does not count as junk. Once you get your 4th successful experiment, it's time to head back. I know, puppies, you helped me open doors, but I'm not going to actually be needing your help today. But you did have the digging spots I needed for that. If you'd pulled another terminal, you could just use the terminal to remote in. But I say we're pretty good with steps right now. With 4 or more, I mean more will work as well, go back to your shelter terminal or remote into the shelter terminal and go to radiation monitor. And then select take USV measurement. And whoa, radiation is off the charts. We're above the threshold. Emergency protocol initiated. High levels of radiation detected. All doors unlocked. That means all doors. Well, not all doors. The antechamber doors are not automatically open. The super special doors are not automatically open, but all regular doors and all electronic security doors are unlocked and open for you to pass through. No keys, no key card needed. You do not need to worry about that resource for the rest of this run. Obviously, starting the next day, things go back to normal, but at the very least, you don't need to worry about the keys, and that makes things a lot more flexible. Also, if you don't have a sledgehammer, you can now freely use your keys to open chests without fear of missing out on being able to open doors, because now the doors are all open for you. The one downside to this strat is any special keys that you might get, like the secret garden key, you can only use those when you encounter a locked door. No locked doors, no using the special keys for getting different rooms that you want. Even with the emergency protocols, the doors to the vestibule can still get stuck. So that would be the one time you actually need a lockpick or keys. But being that you're not using any more keys for the rest of the entire run, you probably have at least one to spare if needed. So with keys not being a required resource, you can go pretty well ham on the rest of your run and unlock some new rooms. You focus on some other tasks without fear of getting deadlocked by keys. So while this doesn't always work, it does work often enough that it's worth the try when you get the either the shelter or the early lab. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!